Bom dia. It's a great honor to be with you today. And as my friend and colleague Jack Dangerman said, we're very excited to have the opportunity to work with you and our partners, our family here at Imagem. What I'd like to do is share with you today some of our thoughts on the future of GIS and some of our work to help and support your efforts in using GIS to change the way that your organizations do their job, enhancing the workflows that help you do your job, sharing the information that allows others to do their job as well. Now, I'm a geographer by training, and I've been with Esri, well, in the next couple months, it'll be 20 years. During that time, I've had the pleasure of working with users at a variety of different places around the world, helping them implement our technology, and then helping them to explain the technology to their managers and to the decision makers that support their work. So today, just to reemphasize, today and tomorrow are really about sharing, having some fun, but making new relationships. Because as Jack said, relationships are what makes the GIS community so strong and so much a network. A network not just here in Brazil, but a network that expands all over the world. I'm very proud to actually be able to highlight some of your good work. It's being noticed. It's being noticed by colleagues around the world. This is something you should be proud of. Work here in mining and oil and gas is leading what others are doing in mining and natural gas around the world. Your work in state government, in engineering, in local government are being used by others as beacons for things that they can do themselves. Work in natural resources and education, the use of 3D technologies, the use of thematic and cartography to be able to share information and geographic knowledge is just some of the additional areas that your work is being recognized for. So on behalf of a global community of GIS and geographers, thank you for your contributions. They're being recognized. Now I also want to say that your work and your efforts are part of a global network of GIS professionals. There are many interests, many disciplines, and many backgrounds being put together in sort of a melting pot. Our commonalities are around geography and a passion for the things that are geographic in nature. But it's you and your work that makes GIS, the technology, the business transformation, the making a difference special. What I'd like to do is share some of the work that your colleagues from around the world are doing with GIS technology and with their businesses. First, they're monitoring environmental change. Here's examples from the Chesapeake Bay, somewhere very close to where I grew up. Organizations are measuring the change in sea temperature and also tracking polar bears and the increasing or the decreasing amounts of habitat that these animals have to roam. Others are looking at natural resource management, whether it's being able to manage carbon footprints by understanding the relationship between forest and oxygen, or looking at groundwater modeling. Renewable energy is something that most everybody is passionate about now. Being able to leverage the sun and the wind to generate power, to move away from other resources. So solar assessments, being able to understand solar potential is becoming increasingly important throughout cities and states around the world. Others are studying and applying GIS for urban planning and design, being able to better plan cities, better delivering services, and supporting the needs of the populations around the globe. Public safety, health, and social issues are also something that GIS is used for every day. Whether it's finding out accessibility to healthy foods, or studying crime hotspots, or looking at housing and social economic issues, GIS is having a transformational impact on how decision makers and how the public interact, and how policy is shaped in government today. Next, managing utilities and public infrastructure. Being able to understand what is underneath the ground, being able to better plan, better analyze, and better predict and prevent failure of infrastructure, so that infrastructure that we've come to rely on, such as electric and gas and water, flows uninterrupted to our houses and to our businesses. This is where GIS is transforming these industries. Planning for and responding to natural disasters is something that GIS has become recognized for. Being not only able to understand how to react, but also how to plan for and how to mitigate the damages caused by these natural disasters. Next, business and economic development. Businesses around the world are using GIS to better plan for where do they site their stores? How do they reach their people that they want to sell their goods and services to? How do they make better, more informed decisions? How do they better account for their footprints? I think one thing that I'm very proud of is this next notion of GIS in a national government, developing it as a kind of infrastructure that others can build upon. Here's 4 examples. One from Inspire in the European Union, one from near my home in the USA, or what we call the geospatial platform. China also doing work to develop a government infrastructure, or GIS as a government infrastructure. And lastly, Abu Dhabi. These are having a transforming effect on how these governments work and collaborate, not just with the citizens, but with also local governments, changing the dynamics between national government, state government, and local governments. It's something that I think is very important for our future as we move forward. If I think about all those representations of your work and the colleagues that we have around the globe, I see that same kinds of patterns evolve in how people apply geography, the geographic approach, and GIS technology to solve problems. They use GIS to collect information about their assets, those things that are important to them, whether they be people or poles, wires, parcels of land, soils, or forestry boundaries. GIS is used to be able to collect and manage those information so that it can be used and repurposed in many different ways. One of those ways is they use that information to model and analyze, to be able to understand the past and predict the future. I think this is one of the areas where GIS is just now starting to show its true value. Being able to help us understand how to plan better for the future, how to create policy that drives sustainable development is what GIS legacies will be. Situational awareness is also something that's become more and more popular. The ability to share information with knowledge workers around the entire organization. Being able to put their information and their knowledge and their work in the context of a map. It's one of the most powerful things that we geographers and GIS professionals can do for our organization. Being able to also to be collaboratory and to be transparent as an organization. GIS and mapping provides a common framework for us to share our work and share our knowledge. And lastly, field collection. Being able to enable all of the citizens and all of the mobile workers that support organizations, turning them into sensors for the organization, adding to the knowledge in almost real time. This is something that's truly exciting, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.